Hey, Rebecca, it's awesome to have you on. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today.
Yeah, absolutely, Celeste. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you a few questions, and our goal here is to give other agents out there like a small glimpse into a day in the life of a successful real estate agent.
Okay.
So tell us who you are, who you work for, a little bit about what you do, and why you love it.
Okay. My name is Rebecca Reidhead. I work for eXp Realty. They are a nationwide brokerage, and we're actually branching out into some other countries right now, like they just added Mexico.
Oh, neat.
I am a real estate agent, but I think it's so much more than that. Like instead of just buying and selling real estate, I feel like I get to help people when they're starting new chapters in their life. So when people are buying and selling real estate, they're either going through a change in their life. Either their family is growing, so they outgrew their house, their family has gone to college or has moved out, so they need to downsize, or sometimes even if investors, they're looking to make some more money so that they can spend more time on their dreams or with their family. So I feel like I'm kind of like a goal accomplisher, I help people kind of connect themselves to their goals and their dreams.
I love it. I love it. It's all about that, helping the next person. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's about the relationships, the people, the families, that are going to live in these houses.
Yeah. So what is your process for finding these people? Like, do you do any kind of prospecting on a regular basis?
Yeah. So, before the pandemic, when I was a brand new agent, I did a lot of open houses, just getting out there, meeting people, learning about different neighborhoods, what buyers and sellers were actually looking for. Since the pandemic, a lot of it is online now. So it's a lot of social media. It's a lot of reaching out in groups. It's building relationships and connections, online. Sometimes that's harder because it's all about being sincere.
Right. So do you make any calls or do you text anyone? Do you send emails as a way of, following up, keeping in touch, staying top of mind?
Yeah, absolutely. So the main thing that, you got to do is make sure that you're staying in front of the people in your life and those relationships. So I do calls, I do messages. One thing that I'm going to be starting in 2021 is videos, video updates about the market, what's going on in your neighborhood. What are your values looking like? Because in the market I'm in, it's extremely hot sellers market, as it is across a lot of the United States right now. So sellers are always wanting to know what their value is. If I sell it right now, how much money am I going to put in my pocket? And buyers are always looking for the hottest new properties, get in there before everybody else sees this property. So I'm going to add some videos and some different newsletters, and stuff like that to send out.
Awesome. So what does a typical day of prospecting look like for you? Do you time block? Do you set aside certain times of the day that you're gonna, do your follow up, do your prospecting?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a firm believer in time blocking. I mean, with us being moms and, just kind of like this industry, it's a little fly by your seat of your pants
Right.
sometimes. So I
Right.
do my best to kind of time block. And I think that's important for agents so they don't hit that burnout, because sometimes we're flying so hard in these kind of markets, it's easy to forget about ourselves. So time blocking, making sure you're following up with your clients, making sure that you are bringing value to them. So a typical day for me is I do my calls. I try to reach out if I haven't heard from somebody in a certain amount of time. I reach out, let them know what's going on with the market, see kind of what their new goals are. And let's be honest, this year was a wild year and a lot of people changed their goals. So
Changed. Yeah.
yeah, so I'm right there. Okay, what has changed this year for you? Are you still on the same track, or do we need to reevaluate what your goals are and get you there faster, or maybe take a little bit more time so you're more comfortable? So
That's
process.
fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
That's an area that not a lot of people think of as far, at least the people that I've spoken to, there hasn't been a whole lot of let's reevaluate what has changed for you. I think that's really great. That's really important, I think,
Oh,
because
thank you.
with the changes, a lot has changed with everyone.
Yeah.
And so, they may not be able to, they may have had to spend their savings because they got laid off. And so they don't
Yeah.
have money to purchase a home right now at that point in time. So,
Right.
reevaluating, I think, is really important. That's fantastic.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, and so much has changed. People lost jobs. People that were ready to buy before, like lost their job in the middle of a transaction sometimes. And so it's getting the new job, getting what we need done, so that way we can go back out there and shop and get you into a place. Go ahead and achieve those goals.
Yeah. So we've talked a little bit about, how you cultivate the relationships. Is there a way that you prefer? Like, do you personally prefer to send a text message, or do you like emails better, or do you like talking to them on the phone better? I know you mentioned you're going to incorporate video calling or video updates into it as well. But is there one that you like best?
So I'm a direct kind of person to person type of a person, I guess, myself. I like face-to-face contact a lot better. But I mean, with this pandemic, I have been doing a lot more phone calls. And sometimes, let's be honest, text message is always faster. People have busy schedules. So I would say it's probably phone calls and text messages. As far as updates, like what's going on with the market, that's emails. People can read that when they have time. If they have questions, then they can reach out to me, because I don't want to be one of those salesy, kind of spammy,
Yeah.
people. I want to be a person of value. I want to add value to their lives, so that's kind of how I like to do my business, is a combination of all of it.
Okay. I'm also like that, where I don't like to be pushy and salesy. I could never be, an actual salesperson, just because I'm one of
Yeah.
those that I'm like, oh, no, you don't need that. Okay, bye.
Yeah,
um,
exactly.
so I personally, one of my favorites is ringless messages, where, especially for like first or second contact, where you can just drop a voicemail and it doesn't ring their phone, it doesn't interrupt whatever they're doing.
Right.
So I personally really like that, just because I'm a very non-intrusive type of person.
Yes, exactly.
So that's one of my favorites. And text messages obviously is along that same line, where yes, it's going to ding their phone when you send it, but they have the freedom to answer that back when they get a free second, not, on a phone call, which, phone calls are the bread and butter of a lot of businesses. And
Yeah.
and when you've got somebody who is dedicated to that specific type of prospecting, it can work fantastic. Just, me personally, I like
Right.
the less invasive or intrusive types of prospecting.
Right. Absolutely. And I think it kind of depends on the client too, who you're interacting with,
Yeah.
and let that kind of set the tone of the relationship.
Yes, because some people get really upset by phone
Yeah.
calls, and other people only want to deal in phone calls.
Right.
They want to speak to someone. They want to hear the voice and hear the cadence and build that rapport, either on a phone call or a video call, or, even a
Yeah.
face-to-face meeting if it's possible. So yeah, definitely there's a lot of different personalities, and they like different kinds of communication. And that's why I think it's so important to have that combination
Hmm.
of all of them.
Yeah, exactly.
So tell me, what advice would you give to someone who is brand new in the real estate world?
Um, Find a good group of people that are seasoned agents to help you, to answer questions for you, point you in the right direction. A good support system is very, very important. I was extremely lucky. As soon as I got out of real estate school and got licensed, I found a good support system at my brokerage and also in the industry. Just friends I went to school with that you can bounce ideas off, whether it be contract questions or marketing ideas, prospecting. Hey, how are you getting your leads? What are you doing? So find it's highly important to who you surround yourself with when you're in this industry.
Okay. So speaking of having a good support system and friends around you, how do you handle it when this is a topic that I see over and over and over? How do you handle it when a friend uses a different agent to buy or sell their home?
You know, I've had it happen to me. I got to be honest with you. The bread and butter of my business is my family and my friends. But I have had, a few friends use somebody else, and I'm cool with that. Because you don't want to ruin relationships over business. At the end of the day, the people are who matters. So yeah, I feel like, hey, like, why didn't you use me? I would have taken really, really good care of you. But everything happens for a reason, and I would much rather value the relationship than the business. But it does sting a little bit. I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
it does sting, and you want to be like, what the heck, But it's like, well, just keep me, stay cool with them, keep me in mind for your next transaction.
So I know that one point I see on that topic a lot is, um, sometimes there are financial things that our friends or, especially our family don't
Yeah,
want you as, as a realtor to know or to
yeah,
see, or they think they're going to be judged, or, they're just really self-conscious about something in their finances. And I think that that is, one of the reasons why friends and family at some point just don't use a realtor that they're close to.
right. I totally get that and I understand that. The thing with me is even if like you're like I've sold a house to my mom and my sister and my cousins and stuff like that, and I maintain a level of professionalism and try to keep the personal from the professional aside, and I take care of everybody like they were family, whether they're my family or not. So I want to be a safe, comfortable place for people to be able to share that. And so I always tell my family, my clients, like whatever I know is going to stay with me. You don't have to worry about me, knowing the sensitive information because it stops here.
Yeah,
I'm your professional right now, not your family member, but I'm going to love you and take care of you like you're still my family.
that's an
So that's kind of
awesome
how I
way
deal
to.
with that one. I do completely understand it, but that's how I try to handle it, make them feel comfortable about it.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so is there anything that you wish you would have known going into real estate that you know now?
Yeah. Um, I think like for me, when I got into real estate, I was like, oh, it's going to be awesome. I'm going to be able to manage my own schedule and stuff like that. And I don't think people realize actually how much work, we put in. There's so much stuff behind the scenes that we have to look out for and negotiate and watch our clients back on. I wish I would have known about how much time and energy you put into it. It's not easy. But it's like the saying goes, if it was easy, everybody would do it,
Right.
and
Mhm.
everybody would be successful at it. I think
Exactly.
what separates successful agents away from non-successful is the hours put in, the blood, the sweat, the tears, that they put in for their
Mhm.
clients. Because for those agents, like I've mentioned, it's about the people, not the dollar signs,
Right. Right. So how do you manage with all those, those hours and the energy put into it? How do you manage to balance your work life and your personal life?
So, to be honest, sometimes it's a struggle. It's a very real struggle. I'm a mom to two kids. I have my real estate business. I own a farm. I was a mentor, I gave that up a couple months ago to kind of, add some pressure. I mean, to add some relief. And that's one of the things you got to know your limits. I'm one of those things that want to be a part of everything. I want to do everything. I want to help everybody, and sometimes, you got to know your limits. I think time blocking is a very big thing, knowing when my family has to do what at what time. Having a good support system. Like everybody in my family knows, like, hey, mom is busy working. She's doing this, she's doing that. We got to step up our game. So my kids have chores they got to do every day. I have a good support system and it kind of helps me manage the chaos sometimes.
Awesome. Yeah, sometimes that support system is a lifesaver.
Yeah,
Being
definitely.
able to okay, I need you to go get him from school today, kind of thing. Just having those people that'll step in and help out where it's needed, I think is huge.
Yeah. And if nothing else, like even friends to have an ear to vent to, when the
Yes.
chaos gets so much, it's the little things, but they really do help.
Yes. I need a good friend that will just bring me a bottle of wine like once a week and be like, you know what, just vent. Just
Yep.
just tell me about it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Call it therapy session,
Yes.
once a week therapy session with the girls.
Yep, exactly. All right, Rebecca. So any last piece of advice for our fellow agents?
Yeah. I would say if I could give you the greatest piece of advice, it would be to invest in your business. This is your business at the end of the day, no matter what brokerage you're currently working for. Invest in yourself. Get out there, meet people, and get yourself in a class. Like until you get on your feet and get seasoned, make sure you're learning as much as you possibly can.
Okay, awesome. So give us a way to get in touch with you, Rebecca.
You can reach me on my cell. It's 623-217-8569, or shoot me an email, azhomesbybecca@gmail.com. And you can find me on social media. I'm always all over that.
All right. Agents, now that you know how prospecting can help your business, go take a look at Prospect Boss and then check out Rebecca Reidhead.
All right. Thanks for having me. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.